Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Sometimes I'm like doing some reading before before streaming. I just get carried away and like forget I'm streaming. Like, oh shit, found a cool article I'm reading. All right, morning, everybody. A little bit of a late start, but got a good spread today again. Some more OpenAI news, some more Apple v Epic news, and some more gaming news. OpenAI hires Instacart's CEO. They just snatched him out. Her. They snatched him out from Instacart, and now they're gonna work for OpenAI as CEO, or as head of applications. I read elsewhere that it was a CEO title, but potentially not. And then I know yesterday I talked about the Senate House hearing, Senate hearing about for AI leaders. I was watching that before streaming a bit, and it's honestly kind of it was a little bit of sleeper Z. I mean, it's just kind of boomers talking about technology. I don't know. It wasn't as exciting as I thought. So if there's clips, we'll watch some of that. But there's some prepared statements that we'll read by both them, Sam Altman, Lisa Su, AMD CEO. And then Nintendo forecasts sales of 15 million Switch 2 consoles. Which is crazy for the first year. Not even the first year, less than. And then we'll look at Rockstar GTA 5 trailer, because we've interested. I had some previous speculation on it, so we'll look at that. Let's just start with the AI leader government meeting. I need to change my. All right, there we go. I was like, I need to my stream deck. None of my old scenes work after I updated everything. Okay. It was live on CNBC. But yeah, I was yeah, this is it. Is it still going on? Oh shoot.
Prohibit the using DeepSeek on government devices. And earlier this week, Senator Cassidy and I introduced a bill that would expand those prohibitions to include federal contractors. So, Mr. Smith, what should our DeepSeek and advertising, and we have to ask the right questions in order to promote its growth on one hand, and how it can explore and create these new possibilities and pathways, and also how do we protect ourselves from bad actors or outcomes as best as we can know at the time. And Mr. Altman, thank you for spending some time with me yesterday. I look forward to continuing to work with you on this. So I want to start a little bit today at DeepSeek and adversarial AI.
Yeah, I mean, like, so it's like, bro, DeepSeek is like an adversarial AI. That's
in February. I introduced.
Yeah. Anyways. It's kind of just a little bit of boomers talking. I really just mainly care about what Sam Altman, Lisa Su, and Corey CEO, Microsoft VP, who's there. I mainly care about what their opinions are, not necessarily what the politicians are. But let's read these kind of their pre-statements here. AI leaders to urge senators to speed power supply permitting, boost government data access. The 2 minutes I watched, it was Sam Altman's like asking or saying how like we would ideally love like nuclear power stuff in the short to medium term. I think he said medium, and then like solar or something in the short term. I don't know. But anyways, the nuclear power is like big tech's. They're trying to big tech wants it to be their savior for all the power that they need for the data centers, mainly for AI. NVIDIA's new GPUs use a lot more power. And there's just not enough. America in general, like our power grid's pretty outdated. It could. I mean, we've seen how like it's stressed. I know Texas is kind of like their own little on their own little island out there, I guess, since they're not hooked up to the federal grid in the same way or something. I don't know, but our infrastructure says America's advanced economy relies on 50-year-old infrastructure that cannot meet the increase in electricity demands driven by AI, reshoring of manufacturing, and increased electrification. Right? It's like I mean, the reshoring of manufacturing, it's like the Trump, it's like, did you, like, clearly you didn't think things out. But it said Microsoft and other AI leaders on Thursday will urge U.S. lawmakers to streamline federal permitting for artificial intelligence needs, energy needs, and open more government data sets for AI training, according to written testimonies reviewed by Reuters. The government data sets for AI training is interesting because the government likely does have very unique data. And they likely have very large swaths of it. There is a lot. You could go to data.gov and get a lot of data here, but I don't know. This was at risk with the Trump administration kind of deleting, like, essentially trying to change history, let's be real, and deleting a bunch of data. A lot of people were backing up data sets from data.gov and other various websites, mainly ones that who got shut down, like fully. But the government has a lot of data. I've used this several times, just like for interesting, just to like see stuff or whatever. But this is not what these are open. I think it's more so like more like secretive kind of data, or just more like sensitive style data that they probably want access to. That's not like publicly available. Bro, this website is so slow. Like, it just literally like super random, like electric vehicle population data, and but it's from the state of Washington. This one's from like city of Los Angeles. This is from Health and Human Services. Like this is from EPA, and just various data sets. A lot of times though, they usually just like link to the actual website that it's from. So like if we go to like this one, yeah, we just go to the website and it's like, oh, it's data from City of New York. City of New York, not New York City. But it's like, here's data set. So anyways, this is not likely what they're talking about. They probably want more behind the scenes style data. Now, I hope that they open it up to like any AI company, because I don't think it would really be fair for like, I mean, maybe there's some threshold, but this is kind of like the regulatory capture where it's like, oh, if only like the top AI companies get access to certain data, then it's just like, okay, like you're kind of already like pushing out anyone like that doesn't get access to that, I guess, for like some sort of competitive advantage. Okay, anyways, I'm just yapping. Microsoft President Brad Smith's written testimony says for a Senate Commerce Committee hearing on winning the AI race. That's what this is called. Or not.
Produced by
Pretty relative to China, and we as
Still
America
going,
need to win in that regard.
It's crazy because I swear, like in the beginning, if we go back to the beginning, like, bro, look at all the empty seats. So I mean, I don't know. I wonder if like they kind of like trickle in, or like fucking Ted Cruz. I still don't really know like who. Wonder like who, if more Democrats showed up or more Republicans showed up, or what the deal was. Do they have a sign? Anyways, okay. OpenAI CEO Sam Altman will tell senators that as AI systems improve, people want to use them more, and meeting that demand will require more chips, training data, energy, and supercomputers. Yeah, I mean, I think also this is it seems like supercomputers are used pretty interchangeably with data center, because I think they're all wired up to be like one big computer really anyways. We want to build a brain for the world and make it super easy for people to use it with common sense restrictions to prevent harm, Altman's testimony says. CoreWeave CEO Michael Intrater, and we covered CoreWeave quite a bit when they were IPOing before they went listed on the stock market. And my conclusion was that they're the way that they finance their finances are a little sketch. And so I don't know how I fully feel about them. Oh, it's actually very clean, like this UI for Reuters. I know Reuters this is like they have a kind of a Bloomberg terminal type of thing. But yeah, anyways, okay. Let's just look at. Oh, so this is 1 year. Oh, okay, I guess, but they just IPO'd, so they're they're only slightly above IPO price now. Yes, Michael Intrater's written testimony highlights the energy intensity of AI computation, and CoreWeave runs data centers specifically for GPUs, pretty much. Computation, energy intensity of AI computation, citing an energy department's estimate that data centers consumption could rise to 12% of U.S. electricity by 2028 from 4.4% in 2023. Yeah, we've seen other projections like this, but it seems like energy is like a big trend. I wonder what Lisa Su has to say. Millions of hours of training, billions of inference queries, trillions of model parameters, and continuous dynamic scaling are all driving an insatiable hunger for compute and energy that borders on exponential, he said. Yeah, it's rising quick, rising exponentially. He called efforts to streamlining the permitting process to enable the addition of new sources of generation in the transmission infrastructure to deliver it. This likely would, like, I think what they're kind of like saying without saying it is like they just want like deregulation with it. And I think, you know, with Trump administration making that a goal, I could see that happening. But I realistically think that they just create a easier process, like, you know, like remove the bureaucracy from it, which is kind of like where it seems like a lot of the time and friction comes from. Is it just like, you know, understaffed, or like the paperwork is like 130 pages you have to fill out or some bullshit, you know? AMD CEO Lisa Su will tell senators leading in AI requires rapidly building data centers at scale, empowering them with reliable, affordable, and clean energy sources. She added, moving faster also means moving AI beyond the cloud. To ensure every American benefits, AI must be built into the devices we use every day and made as accessible and dependable as electricity. Yeah. And this is the end goal, is to get it, you know, on, I mean, you could download ChatGPT, but I think what she's talking about is embedding it, you know, like built into the device, so you don't need to, you could run it locally on your phone, and you don't need to make a, you know, call to an API or like ChatGPT, OpenAI servers. You can just do it on your phone, which is the end goal. But like we just have some time before we get there. We can't shrink down the models enough yet. There's been some instances of people running AI models like on phones, like reasonable ones, but they're distilled to shit, or, you know, or quantized, or whatever they do to get it small. But we're not there yet, is the point. Smith called for opening U.S. government data sets for AI training, citing actions by China and the United Kingdom. The federal government remains one of the largest untapped sources of high quality and high volume data, Smith said. By making government data readily available for AI training, the United States can significantly accelerate the advancements of AI capabilities. Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, yeah, I think the power is a real problem, but like that's honestly a real problem like now. You know, like we could just use more power now, and also the more power we have, the cheaper it will cost for consumers. And with just because it's supply and demand, and with data centers and big tech and everyone, you know, in the data center ecosystem using so much data, it's going to raise the prices for normal people, for like, you know, non-commercial entities. I mean, just that everyday people, your electricity bill will likely go up due to demand going up because of data centers and big tech. And they do have some ways to offset those. Like I can't remember how, but it's like, you know, they pay upfront a bit, or they like front some of the costs so that they can then, like, the electricity company could then go build out more data, or build out more or get more electricity to make up for it. However they do that. But I mean, like in, you know, in California with like PG&E, for example, that they're for profit, so it's like they're not, you know, their incentives aren't always aligned with what's best for consumer. And like, you know, I was under PG&E for a long time, and like, bro, we had rolling blackouts just you know, I feel like it was just PG&E getting back at California for like fucking with them, but that's maybe too speculative. But anyways, my point is, like, it's not really that much of a good source to trust. The for-profit power company trying to, you know, make money off of you and your electricity usage. So anyways, we just need it in general without even AI in the picture. So, oh, I don't care. Oh yeah. All right, hang on one sec. Yo, sorry. Girlfriend getting a real ID. Finally. Okay, let's keep on the AI, and let's talk about OpenAI. OpenAI is kind of like captured the news cycle, at least technology news cycle, like quite a bit, I feel like, recently. Yesterday we talked about OpenAI countries. Bro, I fucking hate the design of this website. Here we go. Did they take that down? Introducing, oh yeah, data residency. Okay, their structure. What is it? OpenAI for countries. Oh, I see. It's under global affairs. Yeah, so yesterday we talked about this OpenAI for countries. And I actually have a video coming out tomorrow about this, about kind of my thoughts on it. You could go watch the VOD if you want from yesterday. That's just video, just me. It's from the VOD, so you're happy to go watch the full thing. But it's my thoughts on it were that it's kind of the new way for America to push influence, mainly also OpenAI to insert influence, similar to how we kind of do with military bases. They want to build like expand the Stargate project and build data centers. I don't know why I'm coding, but build data centers for countries and then tune and give them access to their AI and tune the ChatGPT, whatever models. They didn't provide details. Oh god, I have hiccups. Provide it for local culture and values for the country. And they're kind of selling it as like democratic AI, and I kind of compared it to like the Chinese like communist like non-democratic AI, and that seems to be who they're directly targeting. And the idea, and my also thought on it was like, you know, the China has taken the open source like open model routes to kind of flood the markets, and so it's kind of like some of the best free models are all Chinese, or at least open source quote unquote ones are all Chinese AI models. And so it's like, you know, when you kind of have the compare, it's like, oh, do I want to use the expensive one or the best free one? It's like, oh, well, might use the best free one. And so, yeah, that was a not the best summarization, but yeah, you get the idea. So OpenAI expands leadership with Fiji Simo. Now, this is the current Instacart CEO. Let's go Instacart stock price. Get Perplexity Finance here. I also really wish that there's a better way to get to Perplexity Finance. Oh, this was not what I just searched for. What the fuck? That was me trying to find videos. And it's down today. Maple Bear Inc. Is that their actual name? Art. Yeah, they're down. But they're actually up year to date, even though they took a fucking nosedive here. A lot of stocks aren't up year to date, so that's good. It's been doing like okay, you know. It looks like they IPO'd September 23. You know, peaked early this year, but it seems like a lot of people peaked early that year. And yeah. Oh, they just had earnings too, actually. Yeah, look at this. This is good revenue. That's what you like to see. This is not, but... So, yeah, now... I mean, the stock's likely down today due to the announcement, but it could be just general market. No, we got bullish sentiment. Like, strong bullish sentiment today. So, yeah, bro, S&P's up 2%. What I'd like to see. AppLovin, they had earnings. Axon, holy shit. Axon. I was literally just watching how it's made last night. I was watching how tasers are made. Here up 15%, bro. That's crazy. What is Axon's market cap? $53 billion. That is insane. They've been public since 2001, bro. They're literally a penny stock. Oh, everyone took a nosedive after the tariff announcements. Okay, anyways, so sidetracked. Yes, Fiji Simo. Yeah, so you CEO of applications at OpenAI. Man, Wikipedia is so fucking fast, bro. They don't even have the citation yet. So, Sam tweeted. So excited that Fiji Simo is joining OpenAI in a new role, CEO of applications. Okay, yeah, see, I did read that she had a CEO title. This is also interesting because this is similar to, I don't know like other big corporate structures, but Microsoft has like internal CEOs and they get much more like autonomy within the corporation compared to like other roles. Notably, Sam Altman, when he was fired from OpenAI, when the board fired him, he potentially was going to get the CEO title like of like CEO head of AI at Microsoft. That was like a theorized. And so it seems like OpenAI might be taking a similar route with giving internal CEO titles. I don't know what other positions have a CEO title within OpenAI, so I'm curious about that. Anyways, it says, I'll remain CEO of OpenAI, but in this new configuration, I'll be able to increase my focus on research, compute, and safety. Yeah, and it seems like Altman he's like, yeah, I'm doing too much. Applications, I think, is big too, because that's like ChatGPT itself, I imagine, like all of the mobile apps, like all of their actual like products, which is a big job in itself. It's kind of, like if you like want to like put some weight on it, it's kind of like the window to talk to, their AI, and like that's kind of a big, ChatGPT is like one of the largest consumer products right now. Like it's very hard to be a consumer tech company that's large. Like it's a big accomplishment. So I imagine that he was spending a significant amount of time on like products and all the things that they've been making, and he probably wants to focus on more like high level, like more value, like data center shit, like on research, the next AI model, and then safety, which hopefully they're taking that seriously. But yeah, it says these are critical as we approach superintelligence. Fiji is exceptional. We have worked together on OpenAI for the past year, and I've observed her deep commitment to our mission. I cannot imagine a better new team member to help us scale the next 10x or 100x. Let's see. Yeah, she's just I like discovered this person on Twitter, but she's has good marketing takes. She's one of a kind, big brain, big heart, big vision. Gary Tan, head of Y Combinator, which is actually what Sam Altman used to be. Gary Tan has Sam Altman's old job, head of Y Combinator. You can just mog things. I don't know if it's on purpose, but people keep tagging Gork instead of Grok, and it's so funny. Just this like person is just like, IDK man sounds like a fancy way to say I do less now. Like it's just making fun of Grok, which is XAI. It's kind of funny. Yeah, and I thought the same thing, because Instacart's a public company, and so the fact that it seems like OpenAI broke the news first over Instacart itself is kind of weird. Like, wait, Fiji Sim was leaving Instacart, and that is getting reported through a tweet from the hiring company CEO? Yeah. This is at 10 p.m. last night, before markets open, everything. It's crazy. You got OpenAI got 2 CEOs and none CTO after Mira. Bro, shut up. I use lowercase too on purpose, alright? Yeah, I use Ubercase. Yeah, bro, when can you buy Uber and Lyft ride futures? Bro, local market for Uber and Lyft, like, if you could trade that like a stock, like, it'd be insane. Anyways. Okay, let's actually read the official press statement. Sam shared this message with the company earlier today. Hi, everyone. It's so funny because Sam always just like comes off as so like coy and like, like, I don't know. And he's just like this ruthless businessman. I have something exciting news to share. I was hoping to do this in a few weeks, but a leaked accelerator timeline. Oh, I see. Okay. That's crazy. We started OpenAI as a research lab with a mission to ensure artificial general intelligence. AGI benefits everyone. Over the past 2.5 years, we started doing 2 additional big things. First, we have become a global product company, serving hundreds of millions of users worldwide and growing very quickly. More recently, we've also become an infrastructure company, building the systems that help us advance our research and deliver AI tools at unprecedented scale. And as discussed earlier this week, we will also operate one of the largest nonprofits. So let's unpack this a little bit. So it said 2.5 years, we started doing 2 additional big things. Become a global product company serving hundreds of millions of users worldwide, growing very quickly. Yep, that's ChatGPT. More recently, we become an infrastructure company. That's Stargate. Building systems that help us advance our research to deliver AI tools at unprecedented scale. Each of these is a massive effort that could be its own large company. We're in a privileged position to be scaling at a pace that lets us do them all simultaneously, and bringing on exceptional leaders is a key part of doing that well. Yeah. Makes sense. It is interesting too. I know that there have been like previous like high profile hires, but like this is kind of the first like CEO hire. And it's interesting that they chose the Instacart CEO. I don't know enough about Fujisimo. Actually, let's go back to the Wikipedia. I'm just curious what her like background was. Okay, worked at eBay from 2007 to 2011 as part of the strategy team. She built the company's local commerce and classified advertising. Facebook, prior to joining Instacart, was vice president and head of Facebook. Oh, what the fuck? Okay, never mind. Like she's very qualified. Head of Facebook, like literally. This is actually, I mean, like this is perfect. She seems perfect for the job then. Both of these are consumer, eBay is a, consumer company. I mean, Facebook is, consumer social media company. And then Instacart is, again, similar. And all of these are also technology companies. Metrodora? Never heard of this. Clinic in the state of Utah specializing in treating complex medical conditions. Oh, she's a founder. That's cool. Accelerate cures for neuroimmune disorder by reimagining how patients are treated and how they participate in research. This also seems to be a good pair with OpenAI because OpenAI, they talk about healthcare a lot, and so like the fact that she's kind of has this like emerging technology kind of institute for neuroimmune disorders, like seems like it's a good fit too. Conducts research and treats patients, particularly interested in interdisciplinary work, breaking apart the silos of current medical practice. All right, dig that. And the institute has $35 million from an undisclosed investor. We got OpenAI. Oh, she's been on OpenAI's board of directors? Ooh. I didn't know that. Consumer technology industry veteran, having spent more than 15 years leading operations, strategy, and product developments for some of the world's leading businesses. She's chief executive officer and chair of Instacart. She also serves as a member of the board of directors at Shopify. Okay, shit. Shopify actually just had earnings and did surprisingly well. Prior to joining Instacart, Simo was vice president of head of the Facebook app. For the last decade, at Facebook, she oversaw Facebook app, including newsfeed, stories, groups, videos, marketplace, gaming, news, dating. Facebook has dating? Ads, and more. Simo founded the Metrodora Institute, multidisciplinary medical clinic, research foundation, dedicated to the care of neuroimmune axis disorders, and serves as president of the Metrodora Foundation. Cool. Okay. Anyways. So yeah, this seems like a good pick, a good fit for OpenAI. Like she seems very qualified. Each of these is a massive effort that could be its own large company. We're in a privileged position to be scaling at a pace that lets us do them all simultaneously, and bringing on exceptional leaders is key part of doing that well. To strengthen our execution, I'm excited to announce Fujisimo is joining as our CEO of applications, reporting directly to me, Sam Altman. I remain the CEO of OpenAI, and I will continue to directly oversee success across all pillars of OpenAI: research, compute, and applications, ensuring we stay aligned and integrated across all areas. I'll work closely with our board on making sure our nonprofit has maximum positive impact. Applications brings together a group of existing businesses and operational teams responsible for how our research reaches and benefits the world, and Fiji is uniquely qualified to lead this group. Serving as an OpenAI board member over the past year, Fiji's already contributed a great deal. I hope I'm saying her name right too. Great deal to our company. She'll transition from her role at Instacart over the next few months and join OpenAI later this year. Yeah, it's like they had to like, I guess it seems like there was a leak, and so they had to just announce it. In her new role, Fiji will focus on enabling our traditional company functions to scale as we enter a next phase of growth. I'm passionate about many of these areas, and I'll stay closely involved with key company decisions. Fiji brings a rare blend of leadership, product, and operational expertise, and genuine commitment to ensuring our technology benefits everyone. So they'll focus on enabling our traditional company functions to scale as we enter the next. So is she like? See, we'll focus on enabling our traditional company functions to scale as we enter the next phase. I don't know what that means. Traditional company functions. That seems like it's more like a operational, like COO type. You know, like dealing with like the nitty gritty, like actual like running the company. Sam Altman's kind of like visionary type. In addition to supporting Fiji and our applications team, I'll increase my focus on research, compute, and safety systems, which will continue to report directly to me, ensuring we build superintelligence safely and with the infrastructure necessary to support our ambitious goals. We remain one OpenAI. Fiji shares the following. Joining OpenAI at this critical moment is an incredible privilege and responsibility. This organization has the potential of accelerating human potential at a pace never seen before, and I'm deeply committed to shaping these applications toward the public good. Fiji's leadership makes me even more optimistic about our future as we continue advancing towards becoming the super intelligence company we aim to be. Cool. All right, I guess we'll see what this brings. I mean, she's not even joining for a few months, it seems like, so we got some time, but yeah. OpenAI is doing some big things, like, you know, like I'm curious, like, what the trajectory is going to be and like how they actually progress the actual product, like the AI itself. You know, this week there's been a lot of news with OpenAI regarding not just their product, not just their product, but more so like the actual business behind it. You know, their nonprofit. We got the OpenAI for countries, and now they're hiring a CEO to cover product. So I guess we're gonna have to wait and see, you know, how those things play out. But I'm curious. I am curious. Okay, let's take a look at Apple v. Epic again. Apple v. Epic. So last week, Epic Games won. I don't even know if it was an appeal. I don't know the official court name, but Epic Games said that Apple was breaking the court order by making, adding scare screens and taking a percent of cut on web transactions used done outside of the App Store in Apple's ecosystem. Apple said that they get to take 27% and on all transactions up to 7 days, ensuring that they get all they get all the money they can in all transactions done outside of the App Store on the web. A judge scolded them and even recommended them for criminal contempt of court. And the judge said that straight up Tim Cook chose wrong. And so it was immediate that they needed to remove the scare screens and not take any commission on web transactions. Pretty much the next day, Spotify, who's been a big supporter of removing the 30% on the App Store, they just think that Apple has the walled garden. They think that their tax is not justified. Same with Epic Games. And so literally the next day, Spotify put in a update to allow you to get web subscribe via their web on the web. Even Kindle put in a book. Kindle changed it with a big a big button that skirts around the App Store, and that it could go to the web to buy things instead of the App Store, so that Apple won't take 30% cut from them, from their revenue, from whatever they buy. And Epic Games said, I think they said this week that it's supposed to come out, but I did see something. We'll cover that after this. Let me get it. It says like, it was like some criticism on this isn't it. It was CNBC, but their release for the new update has been a clunky, I guess. Let's search Fortnite. Nothing. But it's been clunky, I guess, theoretically, and so there's been some criticism on that. Anyways, Apple has appealed, and they said they disagree, and it looks like they also asked it to halt the rule while it appeals, which it's like, no, bro, like that's, it's like, that's not how it works. I mean, they could, obviously they're requesting it, but like the judge was pretty insistent on them willfully, actually purposely violating the thing. So it says, let's read. Apple asked a judge to halt an order, forcing it to give up control over App Store payments while it appeals the decision. In a filing on Wednesday, Apple says the order contains extraordinary intrusions that could result in grave irreparable harm to the company. I don't it's kind of just like, this is like a boo-hoo, it's like, okay, like that sucks, like that's just the big, it's business, baby. It's a free market, that sucks. Then maybe compete. It's like, I don't know, it's like this kind of like, okay, like I don't know, like I know it's like this, like if I was a judge, I'd be like, cool, and that sucks. Maybe you shouldn't have, you should plan for this. Maybe you shouldn't have been so aggressive. Last week, California District Court Judge Yvonne Gonzalez-Rogers found that Apple was in willful violation of a 2021 injunction issued as part of Epic Games v. Apple case. As a result, the judge ordered Apple to stop collecting up to 27% commissions on purchases made outside the App Store, and said the company can no longer restrict how developers point users towards external purchases. Apple has since complied with the order, allowing apps like Kindle, Patreon, Spotify, and Delta's emulator. What the fuck is this? The Delta emulator's new update makes it easier to join its Patreon? What is the Delta's emulator? iOS gaming app now takes advantage of recent changes. Okay, interesting. Driving Apple of control over core features of the App Store is standing alone sufficient to warrant a stay. Depriving Apple of control over core features of the App Store is standing alone sufficient to warrant a stay. But they aren't depriving Apple of control over core features of the App Store. You could still pay through the App Store. It's like they're extending the App Store to include the web. The new rule, Apple says in its motion to halt the order, the new rule profoundly undercuts the integrated iOS ecosystem that this court sustained as lawful, and that is the foundation of user trust and confidence in the App Store. The new rules profoundly undercut the integrated iOS ecosystem that this court sustained as lawful, and that is the foundation of user trust and confidence in the App Store. I mean, Apple has used that before. They use the trust and safety thing, but there's literally no way to prove that. It's like, it's not really like a valid use. Jesus Christ, bro. Table of authorities. Co-Motor Forklift Co. AM Trucking v. City of Los Angeles. Blue Diamond. Blue Diamond is actually, I think, based in Sacramento here. Assuming it's the almond. Hal Grocers. Cedar Point Nursery. Whirlpool. What the these cases are so interesting. FTC v Qualcomm, Gates v Shin, Goldberg versus Brewer. Google Play Store antitrust litigation. This is also Epic Games, I think. This is just interesting looking at these cases. Okay. Philip Morris, fucking the tobacco, big tobacco. United States v Microsoft, United States v DAS, United States v Colgate v Armor and Co. Is this Under Armour? Jesus. I honestly hate lawyer speak so much. Okay, original injunction, new injunction. Apple is likely to succeed on the merits of its challenge to these rules, which dramatically expand the original injunction. Is this like normal language? Like they're just like stating like Apple will win. That's some like mind game shit. Like it's unlawful to prohibit Apple from charging. Can I open this in a new tab? Make sure it's all good. You guys could see it. Yeah, we're good. Just barely. Oh, there we go. Perfect. Bro, this is actually way too big. We're just take a look at this intro and then we'll move on. It says it's unlawful to prohibit Apple from charging a commission on linked transactions. Like this is just such an insane statement, and the fact that they're still doubling down after like I feel like they got such bad PR from it, like they must really see this as a threat though. The original injunction says nothing about commissions or pricing, and the court admitted it did not select a rate. Order 58. The commission is also not the same conduct that formed the basis of the injunction. The order is targeting Apple's new practice of charging a commission on linked transactions, which did not even exist at the time of the original trial appeal. Yes, but that's the point. The judge is like, this never existed, and then not until we said that you could allow people, did you then insert the the commission, the 27% commission. Yet the order permanently imposes a commission of 0 on such transactions in violation of California law, which prohibits judicial rate making. That's interesting. As well as taking clauses of the Constitution. As well as the takings clauses of the Constitution. See Cedar Point v. Hasid. A federal court cannot force Apple to permanently give away free access to its products and services, including intellectual property. But they're not, though, I guess. Like, it's not free access. You have to pay to submit an app to the App Store. Second, it is unlawful to bar Apple from setting conditions for link placement and language. Are they even like free speech or some shit? The injunction says nothing about this, and Apple conditioned the language and placement of links to prevent developers from placing links within Apple's buy flow, the digital equivalent of a checkout aisle. But we saw that they purposely added those to for scare screens. They pull Slack messages where they're like, we want it to sound more scary. Like literally, they're just blatantly saying that though. Allowing developers to interfere with its disparage IAP in-app purchase effectively defeats in-app purchase exclusivity. That's the point, though. Is there the ad competition? This is interesting. I wonder, like, I want to see what Epic has to say, like, share on this. It also violates the First Amendment by requiring Apple to accommodate messages it would prefer to exclude. Yep, there's the First Amendment. That one might be hard to argue. These new rules are not temporary sanctions for non-compliance that Apple can purge, nor are they mere clarifications of the injunction. Instead, the district court took the highly irregular step of imposing new, different, and permanent restrictions because, in its view, Apple flouted the court's order. But they did, though. There's literally like Slack messages, like, they pulled records. Apple purposely tried to hide. Even if that were true, that is punitive, but the punishment cannot be imposed in civil contempt. Fortunately, the judge recommended criminal contempt. The new rules therefore violate foundational principles of due process in addition to being substantially unlawful. New rules are independently invalid because the power of prospective enforcement falls within an injunction which events prove was erroneously issued. Oh, God. After injunction here issued, the California courts rendered the judgment that Apple's same anti-steering rules are not unfair under the UCL. I don't know what that means. Beverage v. Apple. The district court erred as a matter of law in prospectively enforcing the injunction in the teeth of this conflict between the state and federal judgments. Without stay, these extraordinary intrusions into Apple's business will cause grave, irreparable harm. Depriving Apple of control over core features of the App Store is standalone sufficient to warrant a stay. I don't know what this language means, but I feel like they're not depriving Apple of a core feature, though, because they don't control the web. That's how I'm seeing this. The new rules profoundly undercut the integrated iOS ecosystem that this court sustained as lawful, and that is the foundation of the user trust and confidence in the App Store. I don't know if that is because this has been argued before. I guess technically, maybe Epic Games won, but that's how they justify a lot of the 30% cut is trust and safety and we need it to protect, but it's there's just not many there's not many malicious apps that are out there, I guess. It's but arguably, I feel like they're also stating that their trust is more important than the developers app, the developers themselves. Maybe the developers don't trust Apple, and so in turn, they want to save their customers, from their point of view. And so, it's they're we are, our system is better. Epic Games is we want, we want to keep our customers trust us and Fortnite. We want to keep them within our ecosystem. It's I'm sure that's how they would see it. The district court acknowledges that compliance will cost Apple hundreds of millions to billions of dollars annually. Order 16, which Apple can never recoup. That's the point, though. It's that you guys are being anti-competitive, and so you need to change your business practices to be, if you want, be more competitive then. Consumers would suffer from the destabilizing effects of the new injunction. Disagree. While Epic Games would not be harmed by a stay. Okay, I don't really know what a stay means, but I think a stay means along the same track, along the same lines of the injunction. But Epic Games wouldn't be harmed because, again, that's the point. They should, it's why do they need to be harmed? This court should enter an immediate stay of the prohibitions highlighted in the table above. Bro, straight up, this is the latest chapter in Epic's largely unsuccessful effort to use competition law to change how Apple runs the App Store. That's funny. We're not going to read this background because it's all there, but yeah. I think Apple's still overreaching. The fact that they're claiming that the web transactions now are core features of the App Store, to me seems like a very far reach. That's like Microsoft saying that any transactions that happen, you know, on a web browser while you're using Windows, they get a cut of. That's almost like what they're kind of saying. So like, you know, if Microsoft wants to, let's say you want to list this app on the Microsoft Store on Windows, and let's say you want to use your own payment, you know, processing system. So when you click on, you know, when you download an app from the Microsoft Store and then you want to like just say subscribe to something for $10, and then you click it and it opens up a web browser instead of going through the Microsoft Store. It's not like Microsoft would be like start claiming, you know, purchases from the web. Like, you know, that's exactly what it is. Apple trying to take web transactions is crazy. Crazy shit. So I'm curious what Epic Games is gonna have to say. Let's actually check Tim Sweeney. Tim v. Tim. Let's see what Tim Sweeney has to say about the appeal. Not that. Here we go. 1 hour ago. Oh wait. Seeing a big influx of indie developers preparing to launch games on the Epic Games Store. Yeah, and so actually Epic Games now, in response to this, they are launching their own you could get 0% store revenue, 0% transaction fees on your first $1 million if you list your app on the Epic Games Store now. And so they're kind of giving you like developers ways now to skirt Apple's in-app purchase system. Here we go. Timing of Apple's injunction to injunction stay request number 2. Okay. Will be decided without oral arguments unless the court orders otherwise. So May 19th, Epic's opposition to Apple's stay motion. Apple's reply to Epic's opposition to Apple's stay motion. Bro, that is so confusing, bro. What does that even mean? So we have Epic's opposition to Apple's stay motion, and then Apple's reply to Epic's opposition to Apple's stay motion. So it's the reply to this. There's no oral arguments too. That's interesting. Oh, here we go. The Epic Games newsroom. So I want to see. Apple's motion to stay is a last-ditch effort to block competition and extract massive junk fees at the expense of consumer and developers. I agree. Since the contempt of court decision was issued by the District Court, Apple has faced a surge of genuine competition as developers have updated their apps with better payment methods, better deals, and better consumer choice, all benefiting U.S. consumers as the 2021 injunction originally intended. We are at full speed ahead to bring Fortnite to iPhones, iPads in the U.S. this week. Yeah, and I actually agree. I mean, I pretty much agree. It's like, this is Apple being anti-competitive because instead of now competing in the market, they want to, you know, sue the shit out of Epic and just keep, you know, they just want the courts to silence them and like force them to do what they want. Like it is very ironic. It says A/B test of bypassing Apple's native payments, conversion drop minus negative 12%, net proceeds bump plus 20% increase. Wait, so here's how early the data is broken up. While initially conversions are lower, likely due to friction and switching from the app to web, net proceeds significantly improve due to bypassing Apple's 30% fee. Yeah, I imagine like even if you get just a few people to go around it, like it'd be significantly worth it for the developer. You know, even if like a quarter of your customers, like that's still 30% increase, and a quarter of your customers, like that's big. Yeah, Patreon now accepts web payment. Halt the ruling from last week, so they were still committed to releasing Fortnite on iOS, iPad this week. Okay, and Mark Gurman, he's been he follows like big tech, like specifically Apple, I think. Yeah, Apple and tech. Apple Inc. is seeking to delay a court order that requires a company to let App Store developers steer users. Yeah, that's what we're looking at. Yeah, nothing. I guess nothing new. So Sweeney hasn't commented directly, but it looks like this is the timeline. So May 19th and May 26th. I wonder if this is like when they'll release the like what it actually is about or what. All right. Let's this is just a quickie. But Google's backing more, big tech's backing more nuclear projects. Google backs 3 new advanced nuclear projects. Yeah, last year Google signed its first one. So it says Google announced today that the launch of a new collaboration with South Carolina-based nuclear project developer Elemental Power, including an agreement to invest in 3 advanced nuclear energy products. Let's look at these guys. Does Google have data centers in South Carolina? They literally only have a LinkedIn. I hate LinkedIn. They have 50 employees? I like their website design, actually. It's pretty clean. Okay. Our value proposition, just straight up. Clean energy consumers, high demand industries. As a nuclear project partner, we collaborate on leading technology companies, manufacturing, hyperscale data centers, like big tech. Have they built any, though? That's kind of the, like... all these nuclear companies, like, none of them have built anything. Like, what? You know, like, collaborate with the utility partners, accelerate development of nuclear projects to upfront investment from the utility. So, to me, they've done nothing. We can see usually how they're progressing. No job openings either. Like, okay, that's interesting. We build nuclear. Today, Elemental signed a strategic agreement with Google to supercharge advanced nuclear energy development. The collaboration accelerates our mission to deploy over 10 gigawatts of next-generation nuclear power in the U.S. by 2035. Google is providing crucial early-stage development capital for 3 project sites, each planned for at least 600 megawatts, demonstrating strong support for safe, reliable, and clean nuclear energy. Partnerships like these are essential for mobilizing the capital and innovation required to deliver sustainable baseload power, and that supports our growing energy demand, especially those driven by AI and data center expansion. Yeah. I just don't know, like, what have they built? Like, literally just seems like the company's, like, they just made their Twitter account. February of this year. I don't know, it seems kind of weird, like, just, like, very... sparse. Let's see. So this is the actual press release. Elemental Power is technology agnostic advanced nuclear project developer, independent power producer. So maybe, like, they just, like, contract things out. So, like, they maybe just do all the planning and, like, you know, and everything, and they just hire contractors and just manage the contractors. Today, Google announced the signing of a strategic agreement with Google to pre-position 3 project sites for nuclear energy. I wonder where. Google is committed to catalyzing projects that strengthen power grids where we operate, and advanced nuclear technology provides reliable, baseload, 24/7 energy. All right, and I guess we'll just wait and see, which is pretty much what with all the big tech nuclear projects, we're just gonna have to wait and see because none of them are gonna be done until like the 2030s anyway. So, and like let's be real, like they're gonna be delayed. I doubt that they like America's just behind on nuclear technology. And because we just haven't built as many power plants, like nuclear power plants, as other countries, that we're just inherently going to be behind until we start building more. So I imagine that all the stuff that's happening in the 2030s is just going to be pushed out a few years. But I guess the point is like we just don't know how successful these are going to be until they actually start building them. And these guys' website is like weirdly empty, so yeah. Yeah, well, Google set the 2030 goals to reach net zero emissions across its operation and value chain and reduce 50% of its combined scope 1, 2, and 3 absolute emissions. Okay. I don't even know what that means. It reported that its emissions increased by 13% in 2023 and are up to 48% since 2019. And are up 48% since 2019. What the fuck? Are they even trying? I mean, data AI is throwing a fucking, is a thorn right now in the emission, in reducing emissions, but I don't know. Don't make promises you can't follow through on, I guess. But I don't know, ESG investing is kind of going down, especially with the Trump administration. So, as its growing data center electricity consumption has outpaced its ability to bring carbon-free energy projects online, Google's set a goal of 2020 to operate on 24/7 carbon energy. Oh, it set a goal in 2020. Operate 24/7 carbon-free energy by 2030, matching electricity demands with CFE supply every hour of every day in every region where its company operates. Okay, so last year Google signed its first advanced nuclear agreement with nuclear technology company Kairos Power, aimed at deploying a fleet of small advanced nuclear reactors. Okay, so SMR, small modular reactors. Projects across the U.S. to provide 500 megawatts of carbon-free energy goals. Okay, so with Element, Google will commit early-stage development capital to advance. Yeah, we already know that. 3 positions, 600 megawatts. Okay. What is this company Kairos Power? I don't know if we've looked at them before. The future of nuclear power missions. They know the world's transition. So they select Albuquerque for Research and Development Center. Have they started building, though? East Tennessee Technology Park for Hermes low-power demonstration reactor. So they don't even have... Again, nothing is built yet. Let's see if they're actually hiring. 45 jobs, all right. Salt chemistry. Oh, are they using molten salt for storing power? Or are they using it to create steam? Test engineer with expertise relevant to the design. This so I wonder if what we could extract from this. Engineering test capabilities with working with molten salts. Yeah, including FLIBE. The candidate must have knowledge of design, assembling, troubleshooting, mechanical, electrical system. Provide record. Okay, interesting. I wonder if they're using multiple the molten salt for This doesn't even seem like that much, if I'm being honest. Like, yeah, molten salt to create steam for the power or something. Or no, that's what the nuclear part before. I don't know. Don't know. Okay, let's actually, we did have Wall Street Journal on this, but there's nothing more to report on this. Yeah, I guess there's rumors that Google's search traffic changed a bit and they had to respond. So, all right, let's jump to kind of the gaming industry. We got Nintendo forecast sales. Oh, they picked a fucking pope. American elected. Robert Prevost, a new pope. The first time an American has been elected. What are the chances that an American is elected right now? That's crazy. My friends posted. First American Pope in history. Interesting. That's crazy. An American Pope. First one ever. He's 69, so he's got a good, 10 years. Okay. Let's cover, we got Nintendo forecast sale 15 million Switch 2 consoles. Which, I don't know, it seems crazy to me. And then Rockstar says new GTA 5 trailer was equal parts gameplay and cutscenes. Yeah, it seems like Nintendo reported earnings.
And Nintendo, the full-year operating profit almost halved in the year to the end of March. The video game maker flagged weak sales of both hardware and software weakening there. Now, the company's Switch 2 console is set to be released in June, with Nintendo targeting 15 million sales in the financial year. Arjun, there was always this lag period till you get to the next console. What are we witnessing in what we've heard now and what lies ahead?
Yeah, we've seen sort of big drops in revenue, in profit for the latest quarter, as to be expected because of the announcement of the Switch 2. And all eyes really are now on the Switch 2. 15 million units are forecast in this current fiscal year for Nintendo, which sort of is hitting or above some other expectations. So that's a strong start as well. They're expecting a jump also in sales and profit. However, those did miss forecasts, and I think some of that might be to do with some of the uncertainty around tariffs. Nintendo mentioned in their earnings that actually their forecasts are based on the current state of tariffs and are subject to change depending on what happens. A lot of the Nintendo consoles are manufactured in Vietnam, so that's going to be pretty key. But I think it was very strong out the gate so far in terms of forecasts. They're going to launch this new console with a couple of big games, Mario Kart World, one of their most popular franchises, and they're going to bring Switch 2 editions of existing strong games like Zelda. So that's going to be strong. That's going to be key for any kind of its success. And talking about franchises, Nintendo have been masters of this with Super Nintendo World and the Universal parks and spreading their IP across movies, theme parks, and elsewhere. That has really helped to extend the life of the original Switch, which first came out in 2017.
Yeah, Nintendo's IP is like, I mean, I just saw something too with what's that video game? Nintendo like pursues their IP too much, arguably, and like to the point where it's like, I feel like it's almost like damaging. But Nintendo also has very dedicated fans, and like there's a lot of like Nintendo gamers where it's like they pretty much like only play Nintendo games, Nintendo's and on like Nintendo Switch, and I think that they just have a very loyal base that who will just like immediately want to upgrade to a Switch 2. But it starts at $450. Like, just buy PS5. Like, that's what it's like more. And that's I think that's the, it's like where the IP comes in. It's like, that's really the only, like the Switch 2 in terms of like power or like, it's actual like specs are dog shit compared to like even the Steam Deck probably. But I guess like compared to other consoles, and I know it's handheld, but it's dog shit. Not that powerful. Like they literally just got like 7 or a 1080p screen on the last Switch. So I don't know, it's kind of crazy. Joe says Nintendo said Thursday it expects to sell 15 million units of its new Switch 2 console in a fiscal year ending March 2026. It's the first forecast for sales from the Japanese gaming giant since it announced the successor to its successful Switch device, which is due to go on sale in June. And I think they pushed it out because of tariffs, and so they said that pricing was unstable, the unpredictable, and so they pushed out pre-orders because they seemed like they might raise prices. Nintendo also reported its fiscal fourth quarter and full year. Whoops. Here's how Nintendo did in its fiscal fourth quarter ended March 31. Like, I mean, they beat expectations, but I guess it fell still. Revenue fell 24.7% in the fourth quarter to the same period of a year earlier, while profits plunged nearly 50%. That's crazy. This was largely expected as Nintendo fans await the Switch 2 and hold off on buying the current console. Yeah. And then after they launch the new console, they'll likely lower the price of the Switch to get rid of inventory, and then they'll make up for some of that probably. Earlier this year, Nintendo slashed its forecast for sales of the Switch to 11 million units for the year, ending March 31. Nintendo on Thursday said it sold 10.8 million units of the Switch in the year, just shy of its own forecast and down 31% year over year. So, I mean, they almost meet their own forecast. It's still insane to think they stole like 11 million units. Market research firm Omdia expects Nintendo to sell 14.7 million Switch 2 units in 2025 alone, which would be about 10% ahead of the original Switch's debut year. Wow. I just don't like the Switch 2 is just kind of like whatever to me though. Like I really feel like unless nowadays, especially with how expensive the consoles are, like unless you're a hardcore Switch fan, like I just don't see many people like getting a Switch now. I wonder if I know they expect 15 million units, but that's just crazy. It's so expensive. And now like games are like $80. Like if you want to get a Nintendo game, if you want to get a Nintendo console and like a game or two, it's going to be like, crowning $1,000. Like $700. $80 games are crazy. Investors are also focused on Nintendo's forecast for the fiscal year. The company expects net sales of 1.9 trillion yen, a 63% year-on-year rise, but it's just short of LSG's estimate of 2 trillion. Expects net profits to jump 7.6%. However, Nintendo noted that all of its forecasts are based on U.S. tariff rates effective April 10, following a pause in U.S. President Trump's reciprocal tariffs for many countries. Nintendo in April delayed pre-orders for the Switch 2 in the U.S. after the initial announcement of Trump's sweeping tariffs on countries around the world. Nintendo's consoles are manufactured in Vietnam, which faces duties of 46% once the pause lifts. Nintendo's president Shuntaro Furukawa said on Tuesday that if additional tariffs are imposed and prices of its goods goods need to be adjusted, demand in the U.S. may decrease. Interesting. Reuters reported duties could hit profits to the tune of tens of billions of yen, Furukawa added, according to the report. Yeah, I mean, it's rough, but yeah, it's like, sucks. Suriken Todo, CEO of Tokyo-based games consultancy Canton Games, said Nintendo's forecasts are typically conservative. Interesting. Canton Games. I've never heard of this. Seems like a cool place. I fucking love the design of this, bro. That's a lot of inspiration from like Y2K-esque Japan. All right, I'm gonna add these to the market research. Cool place. I also will follow him. This is actual consultancy firm. Okay, anyways. Nintendo loves lowballing their forecast. In the current climate around tariffs give them all the reason to be more cautious than ever, Toto told CNBC. He added that tariffs are creating an unclear future for Nintendo, making it impossible for any hardware maker to make sales predictions. What happens if the tariffs on imports from China stay this high for longer if they are raised for Vietnam, Toto said. Yeah. If Nintendo needs to raise prices by $100 or more, all bets would be off and the company would be under enormous pressure in the all-important US market. And like, this is an example where it's like Nintendo's not going to change how they where they manufacture the Switch. Like, they're just not. Like, they're gonna keep their same supply chain. Like, you know, it's like they can't just like up and move this. And so the tariffs literally do nothing but punish people like this, which I know that they want, but like, it's not gonna end in the way that you know, they're envisioning this, like, you know, good faith negotiation. Switch 2 fuels stock rally. Investors are now focused on how the successor to the console, the Switch 2, will perform following its launch. Switch 2 will start at $450 in the US and has improved features compared to its predecessor, as well as the 15 million unit sale forecast for the fiscal year ending March 2026. Nintendo said it expects to sell 45 million units of software during the same period. Games are important for the success of any console, and Nintendo said the Switch 2 will launch with 2 titles, Mario Kart World and Nintendo Switch 2 Welcome Tour. Okay, you could call that a game. It's like a tutorial. That's like the Steam Deck, that like little like portal kind of game that uses all the Steam Deck features. Like, well, it's like, that's like a tutorial. It's not like a game. There'll be Switch 2 versions of existing games such as Zelda Breath of the Wild. Nintendo's leaning on its popular characters such as Mario and Zelda to boost the appeal of Switch 2. I wonder if you have to rebuy the games. Did they say that? That'd be some bullshit if you have to rebuy Switch 1 games on Switch 2. But that would be some like shit Nintendo would do too. Nintendo first launched the original Switch in 2017 and has become the Japanese gaming giant's second best-selling console with over 150 million units sold. The firm managed to extend the life of the hardware thanks to hit games involving characters like Super Mario franchises such as Pokemon and the expansion of its intellectual property into films. Investors are hopeful that the company can continue to ride the wave of popularity with shares around 30% this year and 64% over the past 12 months. I think 30% this year is good compared to some of the other some stocks. So, jeez. I just thought this was interesting because some friends and I in our Discord were speculating my friend's like, he's like, this bullshit, like they're just trying to do this to get in the news, like, but yeah, we were speculating that whether or not GTA 6 is going to be on previous gen consoles, so like PS4. I don't even know what the previous gen Xbox is, but or if they're only going to focus on like the PS5s and the latest Xbox. We also, are speculating on how much it will cost, and I think that if they actually decide to keep GTA on only the latest gen consoles like PS5, Xbox One S, is that the latest one? Xbox One X, on the latest gen consoles, that I think that it'll be easier for them to justify charging like more than $80 because this game is going to be at least $80. Let's be real. And so if it's only on next gen consoles, then that limits the market that could buy it, and so they need to charge more to make up for more money. And now, especially that it's delayed, like, Yeah. So the fact that it's on a PS5 is interesting because that's next gen. So then it says Rockstar says new GTA 6 trailer was equal parts gameplay and cutscenes. The trailer was also captured entirely in game from PS5. The second trailer of Grand Theft Auto 6 is surprise dropped this week and it looks like mostly focused on the story and world at the expense of gameplay. Wait, a second trailer of Grand Theft Auto 5 is surprise dropped this week and it looked like it mostly focused on the story and the world at the expense of gameplay. Excuse me. However, developer Rockstar Games said that it isn't actually the case and that the trailer was comprised of equal parts gameplay and cutscenes. I don't really get this first statement. The fact that it's hard to discern between the two in the trailer is an impressive achievement for the game, though obviously we'll have to reserve judgment until we are able to actually play it. Yeah, and like, if it is on previous gen consoles, it's gonna be like fucking Cyberpunk release. Like, it's just gonna be dog shit. It's gonna run so bad. The studio also confirmed that the trailer was captured entirely in-game from PlayStation 5, something that was noted in the trailer's fine print. The game will be launching on both PS5 and the Xbox Series X/X. Does it not say PS4? A trailer which came more than a year after the first was released soon after the news game came that GTA 6 was being delayed. Original slated for launch this fall. The game is now due to release in May 2026. In a statement, Rockstar said that we need to, this time, deliver the level of quality you expect and deserve. Pretty straightforward. Yeah, I guess we'll see. I don't know. I guess, like, I'm just trying to think of, like, yeah, I feel like they're setting expectations high, so you buy the game, saying that it's entirely like this is, they're like, this is what the game looks like actually, but like, actually, is it? We don't actually know. You know, it's just, we have to trust their word. So it's like, I don't know. Don't know. Okay, that's what I got planned for today. I'm gonna see if there's any new if there's any like videos. Any emerging technology. Create on-brain visuals with image generation. Cool. The new American Pope. I like scrolling, and my algorithm is very like tuned to the stream. Oh yeah, let's watch this. I've been wanting to watch this for a while. And so I get a lot of like emerging technology, like these like robotic shit pushed to me, and I kind of like that. But I'm not seeing much. Yeah, I read this morning. Bill Gates is like speeding up how fast he gives away all of his money. Just noble. Okay, let's watch this video right here. And we'll probably chill after this. So we've actually seen, I think Unitree has something like this with these like wheels on it. But the Unitree one, I don't know, with some of the Unitree stuff, it just looks like fake. Like, they need to do a better job making it look real if it's actually real. So this looks real. I mean, it doesn't look CGI to me. Sick. Whoa. Backpack size. Sick. Effective final mile. How do they take it off? Right? Deep robotics. Oh, they do have a humanoid, it looks like. This was 6 months ago. Bro, what the fuck are these proportions? Why is Lake so small and its torso so big? Whoa. Okay. You can buy it? Oh no. Purchase intention. Let's actually look at the website. I love this. Partner with Budweiser. And his own Tesla Optimus? Okay, so product. So they have 2 of these like quadruped. These are industrial. These look like more nimble. A light. Oh, so they actually make joints. Humanoid. This one, interesting. It just looks, the legs are so small. I mean, it's kind of... Sometimes these websites are good, other times they're just very corporate-y. After the robot stands up, its body legs are skewed. Like, privacy policy. Like, yeah, bro, your dad's going straight to the Chinese government. Let's for real. Just kidding. All right, that's all I got planned for today. Today is Thursday. No stream tomorrow, but I'll have a video uploaded on YouTube tomorrow. So subscribe for that. Stay tuned. We'll be back Monday, 9 a.m. Some more tech news. I wonder if there's any... I need to take a look to see if there's any events in May. I think there was a few. Computex is soon. Computex is 5/20, so we got a few weeks for that. Yeah, we'll be back one day to continue to take a look at some news. I appreciate everyone showing up, tuning in, hanging out. And I will see you Monday. Stop by the channel tomorrow for a new video. All right. See you.